Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames, and I'm back with a bit of a kind of a real talk, mostly just a discussion video of the brand new Guilty Gear Strive announcement, and that's of course my main character being brought back, Millia Rage, as well as Zato 1. Now, this isn't a reaction video because, well, I kind of forgot it was happening today. Hey, it's been kind of a crazy time here in California. You gotta forgive me on that one. But anyways, I saw the trailer, and frankly, I don't think anyone would be all that thrilled with my reaction, which was basically just watching the trailer like a normal human being. That said, I am more than happy to discuss the actual contents of the trailer and what my thoughts are, rather than going for faking a sort of off the cuff reaction that I don't really have. Maybe that was at like an Evo or something like that, and this was happening around a big old crowd, I might be different. But just sitting at home, stuck in, being grounded by the government, yeah, I'm not really going to give much reaction, at least in the face. So, anyways, the first and foremost thing I've got to say is I've always been an enormous fan of Millia's character design in Guilty Gear Xrd. I think her design was okay in the first Guilty Gear and the X series, but I think Arc System really knocked it out of the park with the Xrd design. It was elegant and stylish and feminine, but it was not sleazy in any sort of way. It was just like the most perfect fucking female character design I've ever seen. I've always been a huge fan of it. So when we got the trailer, or actually when we first started getting trailers for Strive, first I was just kind of like, oh, she's gonna come, she's gonna, it'll happen for sure. But then I was like, oh god, what are they gonna do to her character design? Because some of them are a lot more different than others, and some are very similar to how they were. Like Kai's very casualized, I feel, whereas Potemkin is like very similar to his look and feel from Xrd. So with Millia, I was like, God, I kind of hope they kind of do the same thing with Potemkin here and just sort of keep it as she was in Xrd, because I really like Xrd's design. And basically, yeah, I feel that's kind of what they did. Now, it is different. It is much more of a general overcoat. Her hat's even a little bigger. It still has that sort of vaguely Russian-esque design motif going for it, but yeah, like her design is definitely a continuation, if you will, of her Xrd design. And Zato 1 is very similar to how he's been in the past. So he's probably even more like Millia than she is of her past incarnation, and in gameplay, very much so. So let's talk about that, because that's probably the big thing right now, and that is when I played Guilty Gear Strive at the Arc System convention, whatever they had it back in November, I think it was. It became very apparent very fast that Strive is a much different Guilty Gear game than past Guilty Gears. It is a slower, more rhythmic, more grounded style of game. It's very much going for that sort of Street Fighter V or even MK11 style of trying to be a little bit more methodical and more spacing paced. And this is not anything any Guilty Gear fan wants to hear. However, I will say that after getting even more hands-on time after that event, I'm a little more comfortable with it. It is definitely a more slower, grounded-based game with less overall number of mechanics, at least so far that we've seen in what I've played. However, it's not the sort of complete neutering that, say, MK11 was. It doesn't feel as slow and back to basics as Street Fighter V is. Although I feel that Street Fighter, that's very much like the launch era of Street Fighter V. I feel that and think that Street Fighter V now is a much more crazier, interesting game, because they've added mechanics and a lot of different characters over time. So, so with this game, we only have, I think, 9, maybe 10 known characters. We don't even know what the new Cyber Samurai guy's name is. I think we have just the known 7 that'll be in the closed beta test, and then Millia and Zato. So yeah, I mean, so far we don't have a giant roster anyway, so it's really hard to say how things will change or shake up in the future, but we definitely seem to have the 8 original, or what have you, the 8 world warriors, if you will. I think the only one from the first game missing now is Cliff, and I don't know if he's ever going to come back. That's a stretch. He's hardly been in the Guilty Gear series overall as a whole, but yeah, it's interesting that right now the roster is almost entirely just the first Guilty Gear roster plus an unnamed Cyber Samurai. But anyways, when I played, I was like, uh-oh, this game is not a rush down heavy game. It is not a game where the battle system as it is not made to favor a character or even have a character like that. So I actually had a small doubt in my mind, a lingering doubt, if you will, that I don't know if Millia is coming back. Her playstyle just doesn't gel with the new system. If she does come back, she's going to have to be a completely different character, and that kind of seems to be what's happened here. So we only got however many 30 seconds or whatever of footage of her, and then like another 30 of Zato 1. And with Millia, it definitely looks like she's a different character. There's a few things that are kind of similar, kind of traditional to her, but then there's a lot of things that they either seem executed different or have different properties or come out at different heights and stuff. So the whole gameplay still seems to be a bit of she doesn't seem to be entirely rushed down, but like, interestingly enough, we see in the trailer, like, she has like a really long kick. She also has a long poke on the ground, low ground poke, which is interesting. So it almost seems like she's more mid-range character rather than get up in your face and tear shit up, which is how I play old Millia. But she definitely still has plenty of crazy stuff. They do seem to show her doing a lot of short hops or flips, if you will. But so one of it looks just like just a generic grab, and the other one just looks like the way she does her hair discs. I don't really know what her hair discs are called. I just call them hair discs. So, and it seems the way they function in this game, or at least the way they come out, is certainly different. In the old game, it was interesting. You could either do like instant or you could do delayed ones, which were really interesting on setup and when knocking someone down, and then you set up a delay based hair disc and stuff like that. So we're really going to see, we really don't have a good look at her, because we don't even see any supers. We don't see any truly unique stuff because it's such a short trailer. Zato 1, I don't play Zato 1, so I don't really know. He seems closer to how he's always been than Millia does. Millia looks like she's been tailored very heavily towards the new play style of Guilty Gear Strive, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a different thing. It's kind of a sideways thing, and we'll have to see what that entails going forward. Zato definitely seems like a lot of his old tricks and antics seem like they still somewhat apply here. Obviously, he does, to me, seem a little bit slower in the trailer, but that could be the trailer. The trailer was released at only 30 frames, which is super bizarre. I don't know what's up with that. That might contribute to why it looks and feels like he's slower. I mean, it is a slower game, but it just, I don't know if the frame rate on the trailer released by Arc System has anything to do with that as well, but I'm not going to try to even analyze or break down, and this is not an analysis or a breakdown video, because I am not in any way, shape, or form a Guilty Gear professional. I'm just a dude who enjoys playing Guilty Gear when I get the chance to play Guilty Gear. That's all. So I'm on that, I'm on that casual level. But you know what? Casuals sell copies. Casuals get sequels made. So as far as I'm concerned, I really love the way Millia looks. Love the little bits of animation. I mean, the game's already looked so gorgeous already, and it looks like it's continuing that. As far as the closed beta test goes, that's exciting. I don't really have much to say or add to that. I mean, it's delay-based netcode in the closed beta, and the final game's going to have rollback. Thank God, Jesus, whoever, whatever deity you believe in, just praise them for this wondrous miracle that we're getting rollback netcode in a Guilty Gear game. Of all things, it seemed to me like, of all fighting game developers, Arc System was going to be the last people on Earth to cave to rollback netcode. It seemed like they had taken the hardest stance against it, but here they are, like jumping ahead of SNK, jumping ahead of Namco, kind of jumping ahead of Capcom in a weird sort of way. Well, it remains to be seen because depends on how their rollback works, whether or not that has any validity to it. But yes, they're joining the ranks of all the other fighting games that have wonderful rollback netcode, like Gauro, like Power Rangers, like Mortal Kombat, like Killer Instinct. Oh man, that's just such an exciting prospect that we're people like me who are stuck in a country with absolutely terrible internet speeds, that we're actually going to have the opportunity to be able to play competent online gameplay matches, which is really, really, really going to help keeping this game getting played, at least as far as I'm concerned in my rotation. So all things very exciting. I do not believe Millia or Zato are in the closed beta. I believe it's up to Faust, and these characters were just announced. They're not in the beta. Upsetting, disappointing. I'm going to try to get in, of course. I want to be in on it. I didn't fill out the survey, so I think I'm going to be in on it already, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't at the Arc System convention, everyone filled out surveys, and I don't know if that guaranteed a beta test or not. I have no idea. I guess I'll find out. But either way, even if I get in, I'll probably just be playing with Kai a lot, because he's the only other character I've barely dabbled in. Kai, I've touched Kai, Dizzy, and Kai's touched Dizzy. Made sin. But yeah, I'm mostly just Millia. I've almost always been exclusively a Millia player. I love her playstyle. I love rushdown characters. I love like Saberwolf, for example. So I've always been heavy on Millia, and coupled that with Exard, where she not only was her playstyle very, very appealing to me, her character design was super, super goddamn good, and it looks like it's continuing that tradition here. So I'm very excited for Millia and Guilty Gear Strive, and don't believe there's any release date for this yet, unfortunately. Whatever, it'll probably come out sometime this year, assuming we're everything goes okay. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. Happy it's happening, and let me know what you guys think of Millia and Zato, and I'll see you on the channel later, dudes.